the Snyder Cut in 2020.
As you guys
Did
are
it turn into meditation? Or
you guys
is
are
that
very well used to our harmonic year because
That's our
that's what
signature trademark.
that's yeah the signature trademark of our tri-state area lingo. I say tri-state area because we're all in it. Shout out to Zoom. Um, but yeah, y'all, this is episode 38, the last episode of the year for
You can
us.
already see that Mark is exhausted from
Yep,
all the podcasts we've
Mark.
done
Yeah,
this
Mark.
year.
Yo, our guy Zoom has been just completely swamped with content to produce for you guys. But
we all had.
you already know what it is. It's the Brown Steve Jobs mixed with Steve Austin, aka Norin Rad, aka former Knight of Ren. I dropped out. I don't fuck with Kylo and his boys anymore. Uh, Not because I didn't like the movie or anything, but I'm going on a tangent. I'm Ozymandias here, joined through crystal clear audio from the Lost Borough, the Gostoso, Clown Prince, and hailing all the way. Oops, messed up the applause there. Hailing all the way from Clifton, New Jersey, senior DC correspondent, CEO of TD Bank, and president of stats for the Boston Celtics. Zoom.
Yes,
Good for you, man. Your rankings are like crazy right now.
I know. Too bad my salary's not.
So yeah, guys, you're chilling with villains, and we're here to talk about the Mandalorian season one. I know we haven't really been showing much love to it because like it kind of got overshadowed by the greatness that is Watchmen. So we're talking
And
about it now.
also, Star Wars had come out, so we talked about, you know, uh, episode 9. Yeah, so it kind of got overshadowed by a couple things, but nonetheless, we here, better late than never.
But never late is better. Shout out to
Yeah,
Drake.
that's a Drake bar, so I ain't repeating that.
Well, yeah, guys. So Clown Prince, start us off.
Sure. Mandalorian season 1, the very first. I don't want to say no, it was the very first show that was on Disney Plus, right? The first thing that people were able to stream when they bought it, at least episode 1.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we got chapter 8 now, Redemption. That's what it ended with. Overall, I love the idea of the Mandalorian. I'll give this season a good thumbs up. A real, I'll say 8 out of 10. I'll say 7.5 out of 10.
As an
There
entire
were,
season rating.
yeah,
All right.
because I really enjoyed it. There was some episodes that were more um they felt like fillers. So I'll say probably like two or three of them that felt like fillers in a 8 episode season. I don't think that should be the case. But nonetheless, that didn't detract enough for me to be like, oh, okay, like I'm bored or the season isn't good. I still think the characters that were introduced have been amazing. Like obviously, Baby Yoda is the talk of the fucking
World.
last couple of months. This has been all Baby Yoda. Um, Mando himself, played by Pedro Pascal, was absolutely phenomenal. We had Gina Carano as Cara Dunn, who's also great. Carl Withers, all of them, all the cast members did a spectacular job. Shout out to the directors. This last one directed by Taika Waititi, who did Thor Ragnarok. And like I always say, if 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 I'm laughing in a serious situation, then I don't like it, even though it is funny. So like Thor Ragnarok, I had a love hate relationship with that movie, and it wasn't the same for me in this episode in chapter 8 called Redemption. It was written by John Favreau, who also created this, so shout out to John. But there were some moments where you could clearly see it's Taika Waititi, and I was just like, okay, cool. Like he put in a funny moment there because that's just what he does. But overall, I think he kept that serious tone that I wanted from the season finale. That how I know Mark is gonna touch at, I'm gonna say as well. It did not feel like anything was accomplished really in this last episode because the main villain showed up, played by Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon, showed up in the previous episode,
Yeah.
and then you kind of think they got him beat already, which I'm glad they didn't because I'm like, no way you're gonna introduce a
Exactly. Yeah.
kill him all. Um, but as we saw in the end, spoiler warnings. Obviously, if you're still listening to this, you should be caught up by now. But when he comes out with the fucking the black saber, is that what it's called?
I I guess that's what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, well, that shit was fucking dope. Um, that shit was fucking dope. I was happy to see that, and at the same time, I'm like, okay, I see they're using this finale to set up, um, season two, which obviously will be dropping in fall of 2020.
Yep. Confirmed by
So
Kevin.
a couple of
I
things I
mean,
think could have done
not by
better.
Kevin.
By oh, this guy all up on Kevin already by John Favreau.
Shout out to John, bro.
Yeah. So there were a couple things they did that I felt worked really well, and then a couple of things that could have needed tweaking, but it was the first season, so I'm not gonna give them too much shit about it because obviously it's Star Wars. The Star Wars fandom is behind it, and we know how divisive the Star Wars fandom can be. But for majority, I can see that everyone is thoroughly enjoying this. People that aren't even Star Wars fans are watching it, and as they should. There's certain Easter eggs that people might miss here and there, but it won't detract from the overall story that you're watching. So I'll give a round of applause, a nice thumbs up to season one and the finale. But of course, there were a couple things where I felt like they could have excelled a bit more.
That's 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 word to Uncle Snoop.
Words Uncle Snoop. So what's up, Ariel? Let's hear it.
All right. So, like, similar to your like the points you made, I feel that there were to me I just felt that there were two filler episodes, which was episodes 4 and 5.
Hmm.
Um, I think if the season would have been 6 episodes, it would have been way more solid. Um, Again, maybe there was some production, uh, not setbacks, but some production compromises that had to be made.
Yeah.
I'm assuming on at least from the side of Disney, because like who knows? Like unless we call John up right now and find out like why he had 8 episodes instead of 6.
Hmm.
But it didn't take me out of the story at all. I just know that the overall narrative was based on obviously Darren. That's what his name is.
Who?
Mando's real name. Like, what's his
Oh
real name?
no. Din
Oh yeah, Din Djarin. Like I really liked how it all came together eventually. And I also like how there were fan service moments. I'm not gonna lie, like in terms of the season finale.
Right.
But the show picked up the intensity starting episode 6. Like shit started getting good and interesting. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like the episode 7, Mark and I were talking about this. It felt like that had higher stakes because RIP to a real one. What is it? Quill? No, Quinn. Quinn, right? Who's
Uh,
the
Wait,
Yeah.
I
Quill,
have
Quill,
spoke
Quill, Quill.
Quill.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
I wish
um,
we call him I have spoken.
yeah,
call him. I
I
have
have spoken.
spoken.
Yeah, homeboy got clapped. I was like,
Damn,
oh,
bro.
and
Rest
they
in
took
peace, bro.
facts,
Rest
and
in
they
peace to
took
Quill.
Baby Yoda, and that like I felt kind of how Mark said. I felt very tense throughout that entire episode. In this one, I didn't feel as tense or really tense at all in a way. So that's why I feel like you said, even though episode 6, 7, and 8 picked up a lot. I felt 6 and 7 were a bit more, especially 6 as well. Him on that in the prison on like that ship. I was like, oh, this shit is fucking dope. Like it felt like a nice little horror movie that episode. But yeah, nonetheless, go ahead, continue your
Yeah,
point.
like I just think that this was like I don't think it was like the filler episodes were so terrible that it was like, oh my god, like finished, like it, like cause I felt like that watching Iron Fist, for example. I know this is completely like different subject matter and all that, but
No, yeah, go ahead.
Iron Fist, like the way at least the first season, like it did drag a bit in certain episodes, like. Like I feel like Iron Fist was like potential, like there was a lot of potential there considering the story and all that.
Didn't you hate that show?
I don't hate anything, dude.
Or didn't you severely dislike it?
I didn't, I just didn't like it. Not severely. Like, that's my energy, bro.
Like, I hate this.
Nah, but like for example, Iron Fist did have those episodes that I just had it like it was just playing in the background, and I'm just doing shit around my house. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel the need to watch on.
Right.
But with Mando, like I'm like, okay, like I'm regardless if it's filler or not, he's interesting enough of a character for me at least to just follow whatever he's doing. Like I care.
Yeah.
Like I care about him and Baby Yoda. Like and like for the third time, like for the fourth time around, I find myself caring about a droid as well with IG-11. Que en paz descanse. Like shout out to you. Like I'm gonna do a round of applause for IG-11 because the fucking MVP.
Played by Taika Waititi himself.
Yep.
Oh, so remember a couple episodes ago? That's not English. Remember a couple of episodes ago where I was like, "Do you guys think John Favreau will ever show up?" He already did. He was one of the Mandalorians that got clapped. He was the one that pressed Mando.
He was the
in that.
big one?
Yeah,
I
that was
told
him.
you it's gonna be a big one.
It was John. You were right. You called it. It was John Favreau. Shout out Emergency Awesome because I got that from him.
Oh my god, bro. We went like 3 episodes without mentioning Charlie, dude.
It was
So
fast, it was overdue. It was long overdue.
Ah.
no, it wasn't.
So I had to shout him out. But shout out Charlie. No, yeah, so that was John Favreau. So yeah, he was 10 steps ahead of me when I was like, "Do you think he'll ever show up?" What I really meant by that was if we'll see, his face, because everyone knows what John Favreau looks like, but he was in the Mando suit.
That's lit.
Yeah, it is. It's dope.
That's lit. And like this season, like at least the yes, episode 7 was the oh shit moment with Baby Yoda getting snatched up. Like that was definitely like I was like, "Oh, okay." But also the story in episode 8 did a good of enough job to kind of distract you that IG-11 was still out there somewhere, cuz I completely forgot that he was like nearby somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, cuz I was obviously worried like, "Yo, homeboys snuffed Baby Yoda, bro."
That shit got me
Bro, I was
tight.
like, yeah, well, the banter between those stormtroopers was funny. I did enjoy it. But then when
Fun,
he
fun fact that those stormtroopers were Jason Sudeikis and Adam.
what?
Yes, and Adam Pally.
Wow, I
I
don't
don't know
know
who
who
the
Adam
second guy
Pally
is.
is,
I
but
don't give a fuck who the second guy is, but
I don't give a fuck.
and then I rewatched that scene, and I was like, I knew his voice sounded familiar. Like he has such a distinguished voice,
yo,
and
Oh, I know Adam Pally. I just looked him up. He's from
where's he from?
he was in Iron Man 3.
oh, I also do know Adam Pally.
Where's he from?
I'm trying to think of
Iron
something.
Man 3, he was Gary the cameraman.
Oh, I know who you're talking
That's
about.
right. Yes, he was that guy. He was the Tony
He's
Stark
like,
fanboy.
yeah, he was like, I got your tap, bro. All right, all right.
So that's homeboy. But he's still less known than Jason Sudeikis. So
Yeah,
Yeah, but he was probably in there just because he knew John from Iron Man 3.
yeah.
Ooh,
But
good point.
Yeah, because John was also a producer on there, and yeah, like again, guys, seeing Giancarlo Esposito show up as a villain, I
Shout out
was
to him.
I was completely sold on that. I'm like, yes, like
You could tell he's gonna be a beast
yeah, like
in season two.
he's ruthless. Like I fuck with him. Like he
I
kills his
think
own men.
I think that's my kind of I want to say gripe with the first season is that there was no real villain.
Yeah.
Uh
And
huh.
so, well, in a way, it kind of you kind of thought it was going to be the guild because Mando took Baby Yoda and now they're after him, so they're all
Yeah,
chasing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but I think especially with those fillers that happen, you kind of stop and think to yourself like, wait, what's the whole point of this again? Like, what? Why are we doing this? I think that's what took away from me a little bit. But like you said, they kind of went back on track and they did it in a way, at least for me, because I know Mark is he's huffing and puffing right now because he about to go off. Um, they did it in a way for me.
Am I breathing loudly?
No, no, no. You're
No,
good.
definitely not as loud as the other podcast, but
As as past experiences.
yeah. Um, but it didn't detract. Like they got back on track where I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I see like the remnants of the empire are now involved in all this that's going on. Cool. And like you said, a lot of Easter eggs does help with gaining interest again.
Exactly. And the thing is also that what I really loved about the show is that going in there, the only bounty hunters I really knew, to be honest, was Jango and Boba Fett. I knew very little about
That's the thing.
Mandalore or Mandalorians and stuff,
And
and the show does not at all like kind of they're not pretentious with information, which is what I like. Like I get it that is on Disney Plus and stuff, and they can if they want spoon feed you information through exposition and stuff, but I just feel like the show had a really kind of easy to follow narrative without feeling spoon fed. Like I'm like, oh okay, I get it. I know Beskar is extremely valuable and is extremely important to their culture.
mhm,
I understand that being a Mandalorian isn't a religion, it's a creed, it's a way of life and stuff. I get
that
it.
was dope.
That's, I mean, that's all pretty spoon fed though, isn't it?
I see
Through
why you would
repeated
think that.
conversations.
Yeah, I see why like yeah, the whole this is the way thing. I get it, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was that in my face about it. Like I just because again I'm just so invested in the character already. Like I just want to kind of. It's almost like you start hanging out like with like a group of people and you're like, yo, I really fuck with y'all. Like tell me more. Tell me more.
Yo, speaking with I fuck with y'all. Shout out Emily Swallow. Pause that.
Yo, this
Who plays Armor, who is the like head
yeah, yeah, yeah.
honcho of the Mandalorians.
With the fur.
That yo,
She's
that
not pussy,
scene.
bro.
Nope, nope. That scene where she told man, she's like, "Yo, go ahead." He's like, "Come with us." She's like, "Nah, fam. I could take,
Nah, I'm
I could,
good.
I could take care of myself. Don't stress me." And when she was kneeling, and all them stormtroopers just came, I was like, "Oh, it's about to be over. Not for her, for y'all." And yo, that fight scene was dope. I fuck with that shit heavy. I was like, yo, I'm so glad she didn't die. I'm like, because
Yeah.
she seems like such a fire character. For her to just get killed off like that, I'm like, thank God she didn't. And I hope she plays a much bigger role in season two as
Yeah, I
well.
hope so too because we kind of did get um I like all right. I'm not trying to justify I did not like the filler episodes at all. I just
Mm.
think that they were kind of a reason to bring all these characters back because they were tied to some favor that or some deed that Mando did for them,
Right,
which I'm referring to the shock trooper and Quill
right.
and IG-11. So like
Mhm.
I get it. Get like how basically it became like a team up at the end, how I expected it to be, and it was very satisfying. I liked how Quill, like he did what he could to help out and all that, Ended up getting clapped in the end, but it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Shout out to Nick Nolte who voiced that terrifically. Quill is legit one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. Like he's
Wow.
great. No, I'm just
Really?
saying the wisdom that he had with him and stuff. I think like that his interactions with Mando kind of helped shape how Mando's gonna be from here on out as well.
Yeah.
So I think the season was pretty solid. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Give it an 8 out of 10. Now,
Is it my
Zoo?
turn now?
Yeah, it's your turn, bro. The floor is yours, sir.
So, finale wise, as Clown Prince said, not the best. He didn't say that. What he said was it felt like there wasn't as much as at stake as it was in the
Mhm.
last episode. And the reason why I also second that is just because as soon as like they immediately get Baby Yoda back through that. I'm sorry, I hated that stormtrooper thing. That stormtrooper thing where they're just shooting at the. I didn't like that.
Oh, the intro.
That wasn't for me.
All
Yeah,
right,
that was a miss. That was a miss for me.
all right.
For those who aren't as cursed with knowledge, the meaning of that scene was to
Is that
show you
stormtroopers can't shoot.
right,
It
and
was
they
just it was just a little meta moment. Like
It would no. It was a moment that was going to play into it later. I felt like also because the robot, once he finally gets Baby Yoda back, instead of taking this Baby Yoda to the ship, what does he do? He puts him in a burlap sack and just drives straight into the goddamn enemies. Where obviously, of course, they all miss their shots. Obviously, um, and yeah, that was great. Um, it's like yeah, like he's literally a robot who's programmed to protect that child.
yeah.
Now is like yeah, I'm gonna drive you straight into the enemy. Don't worry about it. We good. What? That's the best. Like that makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense to me. So I was like, whatever. That's that. I mean, villain wise, he is. I love that guy. He's a great actor. He's a great villain. Um, so I'm not mad at at their villain choice. I'm just mad that it took them this long to reveal who he is.
Mhm.
It felt uh like it like 2 episodes of this season could have been used for him, you know, and it would have been made that whole thing a lot better for me. Um, didn't really like how he gave them like so much time to decide whether they were going to give up or not.
Yeah.
It's 3 on fucking 50, but
I
well,
like
no,
those
that
odds.
that that I
that
think is because he found out he probably got word that they didn't have the baby anymore. So he's like, I'm gonna give them this
from
much.
who?
Well, the stormtroopers probably weren't responding when they kept trying to get in touch with them. So they were
Uh,
probably like, oh shit, they probably
Yep.
got slapped.
But as soon as they got clapped, the robot takes it straight into the. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't know.
I get it. I do feel like you're nitpicking a bit.
That's nitpicking. A
I
robot
it,
taking a baby into a
well
No,
battlefield.
that isn't
because then
that. I see
you can
how that's an
also
oversight.
because you can also see it like this. Why would the robot bring him back to the ship when stormtroopers could find the ship and just
He
take
can
him again?
he can drive the ship.
Well, he needed to go get them as well to like Mando and Cara Dunn's character. He needed to go save them too. So he rather have the baby with him where he can have eyes on him. Yes, it's either way to the robot to what is what's his name IG whatever.
IG
It was
11.
Yeah.
it was IG-11. It was like a lose lose. It's like okay, either I leave him there and risk the chance of them finding him, or I bring him with me and risk the chance of him getting clapped. Either way, it's an unsettling thing that I have to do, the choice I have to make. At least that's how I see it.
But right, and I get that, but I mean like I feel like as a robot, who's emotionless, they the clear option would be to leave him on the ship and then go back if you really want, if he really somehow needed to go back. But again, since his programming was only to protect Baby Yoda, I'm gonna say that he would probably just either take the ship and bounce or just chill at the ship. I mean, that's my opinion, but
Not look, you're not making bad
uh,
points. Like I can see like where you're coming from with this.
so that's like one thing, and then like um,
Definitely.
obviously
You know why? You know why?
what?
I like even though I can see where you're nitpicking, I agree with you as well. Because if some shit like this were to happen in a DCEU movie or even in the Star Wars genre now, in terms of the big screen, people would bitch about it. So
I would have the same complaints though if it was DC or
no, I understand
whatever.
you would, but people I feel tend to when something's popping off like
Oh,
Mando
yeah,
is,
yeah. I feel
people look at that and be like, you know what, I'm just keep it to myself because we don't really gotta talk about all that.
right,
But
right, right.
oh, but let this shit happen in Batman vs Superman, and the whole world goes crazy.
No one bats an
Hashtag
eye.
hashtag release the Snyder cut. Yeah, no one bats an eye.
um, what else? I mean, another thing that I didn't like was when they finally when they shoot the ship down with or not shoot it down when he blows up the ship, I guess, with the what's his name again, the villain, um
Oh,
Moff
Moff
Gideon.
Gideon.
Yeah, Moth Gideon. uh when they shoot his ship down, everyone's like, there wasn't no big explosion or anything like that. They just looked at it and just crashed. There was no explosion again, and they're like, ah, whatever, we're good. Like, the trained bounty hunter isn't gonna go check on the guy's body.
Now that I can agree with. Like you're not nitpicking there because it's like although you did see an explosion, would you really want to assume he's dead?
No, there wasn't an explosion though. That's the thing. I could get it if it was like if they saw an explosion
Are you sure?
like
There,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure
There
his
wasn't like a there wasn't like and now when I say explosion, I mean like, in Star Wars: The Force Awakens when Finn and Poe escape and that ship, well, even though it was a belch, but I'm like, you didn't see like anything shoot up. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of hit the ground. It felt like, and then you saw like some scraps and shit fly around,
yeah,
but you
because it
never
fell
really
in sand.
right. But I mean, like, still, it's already smoking. It's coming in pretty hard. The whole ship was destroyed. Like, it was on fire and shit. Like, I just don't see how there wasn't an explosion. But whatever. I don't see how there wasn't an explosion. But the fact that there wasn't, the the bounty hunter was like, nah, he's fine. He's dead. Like, come on, man. Like, you're a bounty hunter. This is what you do. You're not gonna go check if he's dead. Come on, please.
Mark said, "This
But
is the way."
Mark said this is not the way.
this is
I need
not
to
the way.
I need to
This
figure
is
this
not the
shit
way.
out.
Word. Like, it would have taken 5 extra minutes if it was about if it was a bounty hunter to just walk over there and be like, all right, yeah, he's dead. Like, but whatever. Um, then I also feel like to kind of cover up that fact, I felt like they kind of did a fan service moment, like, hey, look, he has a lightsaber. It's okay that he's alive. It's okay. He has a lightsaber, guys. Calm down. Like, come on. It felt like they were using fan service in to cover up plot holes to me at points in the show, where it was just like, okay, whatever. So just because I do like Moth Gideon and I do like the actor playing him, I'm not gonna like completely say I'm not gonna watch the show again. Obviously, because it wasn't really that bad. Even though I did have obviously a lot of problems with the finale. Uh, if I had to rank it, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10 for season one.
Damn.
Um,
Wow.
and and despite all this criticism, I actually am kind of excited for season two just to see what they do with Moth Gideon.
He's like, yo, I know I just
And
shit on the
I
show.
really
but-
hope, I just really hope that they don't like, they kind of switch it up and they start focusing more on the plot, uh, instead of whatever the hell they were doing for a few of these episodes.
Yeah.
So I really hope they focus on the plot and kind of build out the more of the characters, and or just give the show more episodes, or I don't know, just like figure it out. I mean, two of these episodes were completely pointless in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You could have just had it building the villain. It would have been made for a better finale. But anyway, that's
It's
that's
fine. It's fine.
it's fine. It's fine.
It's
It's
fine,
fine.
guys.
It's fine. It's fine. One thing I read an article saying that the Mandalorian finale did a better job of wrapping things up than
Oh, then
the Rise of Skywalker. I never wanted to find somebody who wrote an article so much before in my life and ask them, why do you do what you do?
Damn.
Like, why do you lie to people?
I think that's just
I-
for
I-
clickbait, bro. That has to be for clicks.
Dude, I don't know who could watch that and watch the Rise of Skywalker and say, yeah, the finale was better than Rise of Skywalker. There's no way. There's absolutely no way you can
Fucking
think that,
blasphemy, bro.
right? Like, oh my god.
So, I mean, at the same time, it's really hard to compare 2.5 hour movie.
Huh?
Hello? It's really hard to compare a 2.5 hour movie to a 40-minute episode.
Yet they did it. So I didn't ask for this, all right? They did.
I didn't ask for this.
I'm just I'm just
Hey.
saying.
Let's send them a strongly worded email, man.
Nah, bro.
Be a Nancy. Be one of those, let me speak to your manager type shit.
Be a Karen.
Nah, I'm Gucci.
I just.
Let me see if I can find that article again to like kind of skim over it.
So while he looks that up, I just want to do a really quick PSA to the Star
Here's
Wars
here's
fandom.
another article really quick.
Oh yeah, put us
The
on.
Mandalorian, not the Rise of Skywalker, is the future of Star Wars. See ya. Anyway,
I mean,
you know,
if we're speaking in literal terms, that's true because the Rise of Skywalker completed a whole arc,
A
while
42-year-old
Mandalorian-
arc at that.
right? While the Mandalorian is beginning something new. So I'm taking that on a literal sense. But people like Ariel said they're doing it for clickbait.
Literally for fucking clicks, dude. Like why like here's the thing that I feel like this has been an amazing decade when it comes to like nerd stuff. For sci-fi epics,
Geeks. We are geeks. We're not nerds.
this is the way.
This is the way.
Like I just think that I don't think that when cowboy films were a thing or when mobster films were a thing, I don't think that there was this kind of sensationalism.
are you ready for the sentence? Are you ready?
Wait, hold on. I just don't think that there was
Man,
this kind of.
don't be rude.
I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
I just don't think there was
And
this
my
kind
brain
of.
cells just commit suicide.
Oh, yo, chill. Christ,
This man, dude.
My
that is
brain
not the
cells,
way,
dude,
bro.
Man,
My
the
brain cells are
ballad
dying
finale.
reading this article. No, just reading this article. It's like, sorry, go ahead. I'm not
Ariel
gonna
gets
say
the
it.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, yeah, real quick. I just don't think that there was this kind of sensationalism, like in articles and in social media posts and social media outrage about this stuff, because like obviously the internet wasn't like out back then like that.
Right.
So it's just crazy how a film can like the opinion of a film can be tried in the court of public opinion without any kind of context at all. Like somebody could just say something about a film and then like again the mob mentality, everybody just rolls with it. Because it's just I guess is like again, it's very easy to just be negative and stuff. And
Right.
what the best part about all of this is that regardless of how much hate that a Brie Larson gets for Captain Marvel, regardless of what a how much scrutiny a Daisy Ridley gets for playing Rey, regardless of how much hate Finn got for being casted as a main character with racism and all
Yep.
that, they're still gonna make these fucking movies, you fucking incels, alright? So, take it away, Mark.
All right. So this this person said, "Oh God." But despite the show's flaws, and maybe even because of the flaws, The Mandalorian really captured the essence of classic Star Wars, providing pulpy, fun-filled adventure with a decaying, retro, futuristic aesthetic. Are you saying you like the show because it's bad?
Wait, read that again? I'm
But
just trying to.
despite the show's flaws, and then in parentheses it says, and maybe even because of those flaws, The Mandalorian really captured the essence of classic Star Wars, providing a pulpy, fun-filled adventure with decaying, retro futuristic aesthetic.
Yeah, I think he's trying to cap for how the show did have its low moments, and I guess he's just taking the good with the bad. But that was worded.
It's like what
That's worded in hyperbole, though. Like,
And
relax, bro.
it's
here's
kind of,
another.
but it's kind of like
Here's
what we just said though, where people will overlook that and be like, you know
yeah,
what? Maybe, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
it's
It's fine.
fine.
It's
The
fine.
Mandalorian felt like a throwback to a simpler time of bad acting, corny dialogue, and adorable animatronics.
Excuse me.
Wait, there was bad acting?
Yeah, come on.
I
Now.
mean,
That's one thing. Where was the bad?
I mean that I can only think of one actor
Who?
who I was like, ugh.
Who?
The girl, that purple hair, the purple one from the Heist episode or
Oh,
whatever,
that
or not
wasn't.
Heist.
I don't think that was bad acting. She was just annoying as fuck.
Actually, you know what? I agree with you.
She was
She
kind of
was
annoying. She was kind of
obnoxious.
annoying because
She was overplaying
she
it.
wasn't that good. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. Yeah, she was overdoing it.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I don't really know who else I could say was like standing out to me to
I
be
guess
bad.
the village people were kind of flat. Like that was
I
a pretty
guess.
simple, yeah, in the filler episode. Like it was kind of flat there.
Yeah, the 8 episode season had a filler. That's right, I forgot.
Yep.
Uh,
Yo, this man did not like them.
I'm hard on it because I expect more. I expect better. But that doesn't mean that I hate it.
Really? Sure sounds
Yeah.
like you do.
Listen, I'm hard on it because of what I know it can be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, you're a proud parent. I
It's
understand.
fine, guys.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Exactly.
I didn't
I'm like
hate
that
it.
coach. I'm the coach who's like really hard on his star player
Oh, you
because
Coach
I know how
Carter?
good he can be.
You Coach Carter?
Yeah, I am Coach Carter.
Coach Zoom. Yo, I can picture him sitting John Favreau down. Say, hey,
Yeah.
what
Hey,
the fuck is going on?
get your shit together. John's like, I got 20 points and 10 rebounds and 15 assists. You only got 20 points. I want to see that by 30 by the end of the quarter.
God damn.
By the end of the quarter, yo, he said, you remember Iron Man? John's like, yeah, you did that, right? Come on,
It don't look like you did that.
bring that same energy to the Mandalorian.
Watch the tape. Watch the tape.
What's it take? I'm showing him like the first flight of Iron Man.
Oh my god.
Yo,
Like,
yo. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. First flight only belongs to one man and one man only.
oh my god.
Don't ever disrespect like that.
I wasn't disrespecting. I'm just saying that's what John did.
That's not first flight. First flight belongs to Zack Snyder, and
I said Iron Man's first flight.
nah.
Nah.
First
Everyone else,
flight.
everyone else just had a first a test run, a test
Yes.
flight,
Thank you.
a test
No,
flight.
no.
Superman had a first flight.
No. The word flight is only used for one man. Thank you. I have spoken. So, all right. let's go on a quick commercial break and then break down the episode a little bit.
Sure.
Do me a favor, please.
Yeah.
Go to commercial.
Yeah. So welcome back, yo. Just a couple more things we want to touch on before we send y'all off for the new year. Clown Prince, please indulge.
One thing I really, really did like about the episode itself was the backstory of Din Djarin. Yes,
Dingerin.
Din Djarin. I loved his backstory. I had made a comment while we were watching. I was actually watching it with Magneto, and I was like, Magneto and Zoom, and I was like, oh, I think he doesn't like because you know how all the time he's like, no, no droids, no, no this, and I was kind of like, yo, I think he doesn't like it because that was what caused the attack back when he was a kid and his parents' death, and Magneto was just like, nah, Mandalorians just don't like droids. That's their thing. I'm like, I think there's a yeah. I was like, I think there's actually a deeper meaning. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
yeah, it could be true that they just don't work great along with
Yeah,
them.
no,
But
no, they stress that way too much for it to just be
yeah,
like, oh yeah,
exactly.
Mandalorians just don't like them.
So Magneto, you can go continue bending metal because
Ooh,
yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Hold on.
You're
Let
not gonna listen to this anyway.
Wait, what you said?
I said he not gonna listen to this shit anyway.
It's true though.
Oh man. But so I really like the backstory and how he had the Mandalorian save him and they took him in like he was one of theirs. And when Armor was talking to him, like, oh, you're taking this child in, kind of what the Mandalorians did to him, he has to do to Baby Yoda now. And oh, I am so glad they dropped. They finally said she said Jedi, and I was like, thank you. I was like, y'all were
I
hinting
know,
at it,
we're
and y'all
everyone's
just
like,
wouldn't say.
I don't know what this is. What the hell could this be?
No, I kind of like that. That like.
It was just weird to me because I was like, I feel like the Jedi is such a well known
No, but remember, bro.
or well rumored thing.
Yeah, but post if you if you kind of really do the math on it, after Revenge of the Sith, remember that that Anakin, pussy ass nigga, killed a lot of like the Jedi Order. Like he slaughtered like a bunch of those kids and stuff who were basically future Jedis. Yeah, there's a bunch others in the galaxy and stuff, but from where they're grown from, bro, he kind of and then I forgot what that very sly plan that Palpatine put together. Like basically that every Jedi temple got hit at once. I forgot what it was called, like the Order or whatever.
The Order 66.
I thought Order
Was that
66
what it is?
was in Force Awakens.
Oh, I'm pussy.
Oh, I don't know.
Man's mixing up the trilogies.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
But I just like how they keep it consistent because if you eradicate the majority of the Jedi over the span of the next 30 years, which is where the original trilogy takes place, so A New Hope, Empire, and Return of the Jedi, that's 30 years. That's 30 different generations. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That the Jedi kind of just gets diluted. Like it's kind of like, yeah, they were around, then like they're kind of not around anymore. So then it's safe to assume that probably Mando grew up like I've never heard of a Jedi. I've never heard of a lightsaber. Like I don't know what.
Yeah,
these things are.
it's Order 66.
Oh, okay, all right.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like no, but it's like kind of weird to me how he's raised by Mandalorians who are these world traveling, or not world traveling, but galaxy traveling bounty hunters, and nobody has heard of this shit.
That's
Like-
like yeah.
Except for the
For Armor.
the armorer, yeah,
But also
blacksmith.
But
What
also
would you
we
call
don't
her?
know how. We also don't
Well,
know.
her name on IMDb is Armor.
Oh, it's just
Oh.
armor.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
just armor.
Armor.
Yeah, armor.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Armor.
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 Armor. You think the darkness
We're
is your
12.
ally. I am the armor.
But yeah, like I just think that's really dope because also
Yeah.
we don't like. I guess an explanation for the Mandos not being well up on their Jedi knowledge or whatever because remember they were in hiding as well after the Empire fell. I know it only takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi, but also there were like it's safe to assume that all of those Mandalorians there were foundlings at one point
Yeah.
who probably were I don't know maybe they because they didn't travel maybe they didn't know about Jedi like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess that's
I
it's
mean,
also
I
safe.
mean, I understand. I can understand them not seeing it, but not even hearing whispers or a rumor or a son. I don't know. I was like, whatever.
Hey, it's a
That's
big
nitpicking.
galaxy,
So
man. It's a
that's
big
nitpicking. Yeah, that's nitpicking. So I'm not gonna say anything. That's not like a rumor, or not a rumor, a misstep on or anything. I was just curious.
But that scene I enjoyed a lot, and I enjoyed the scene a lot where IG-11 was gonna take his helmet off, and he was like, "No." Um, he stayed true to his creed. Even it shows the kind of warriors that they are. That even he's about to die, and he can get saved, and the only way for him to get saved is to take his helmet off. He's like, "No, like you're not gonna do it." And I'm like, "Damn." But that
Integrity.
Yeah, and then IG-11 was like, "Well, technically, I'm not a living thing." So, and obviously, we get the reveal of Pedro Pascal's face. I see people posting about it, and people comment on there like, "Wow, like thanks for spoiling the end." I'm like, if you don't know who Pedro Pascal is, and you did know he was playing the Mandalorian, how invested are you really in the Mandalorian?
It sounds like him. Like, are you like, come on?
Yeah.
It's not hard to like put it together.
Like you've probably seen him in something. Like
Yeah.
you just have to have if you are into pop culture, you've seen him in either Narcos, Game of Thrones, or
Oh,
The
what
Kingsman.
Or
people didn't know he
Kingsman.
was in the show at all.
Dude, I don't know. I just
I'm confused.
That's so
right.
dumb.
What were they saying was a spoiler?
The reveal of his face as the Mandalorian.
That's common. That's common knowledge that he is
Right, and it's not like they were hiding it. It's like, oh, Pedro Pascal has been casted
exactly
as the Mandalorian.
exactly.
It's so dumb.
So yeah, but that scene to me was really dope, where he stayed true to that, like Ariel said, his integrity of just being a Mandalorian. And although when we saw in some of the previous episodes where he was taken in by them, they took care of him. You kind of felt his sense of, he lost his childhood,
Yep.
and that's what he didn't want for Baby Yoda. But at the same time, he still has the utmost respect for them because they did save his life. So I feel like he has this ongoing battle with himself that it's like, yeah, maybe I do just want to live a regular normal life, but I do owe these people everything because they gave me a home, they gave me a family after I lost mine. So I am very excited to see his character build a bit more in season 2. I think what I wanted to say before we went to commercial break was that I think they're setting everything up. They set everything up in season 1, and that's going to make for a better season 2. What I mean by that is, yes, we got introduced to Giancarlo Esposito's Moff Gideon at the very end. We obviously see he's alive. Now, I think they're either going to go one or two routes with this because Star Wars is known for this. The original trilogy, it wasn't. We knew Vader was the antagonist of episode 4, yet he was still the antagonist of episode 5 and episode 6. They didn't take care of him right away.
Yeah.
And I could see them doing the same for Moff Gideon's character. Like, okay, we introduced you to him, and this is going to be the big bad for a couple of more seasons or a couple more arcs. It's not like we're going to just get rid of him within. He's not a one season villain type thing. Or they could either go that route or go the route that I just said, which is make him a one off, one season, and then he's done, and then they have a new threat. Um, but another thing which I wanted to mention was with Boba Fett.
All right.
Like we think it was him that went to go pick up what's her name?
The Asian girl
Yes, her
from
character
Agents of
from
Shield.
Agents of Shield. Let me get her name so we're not calling her the Asian girl.
Yeah,
Ming
word.
Na
That's
Wen.
mad disrespectful on our
Ming
part.
Na
Ming Na
Win.
Wen.
Yes.
So we of course everything is presumed. So that's kind of what we mentioned before when we started the podcast, where those are little things like that which I thought they were going to address, they didn't, and that's what kind of like threw
Oh,
me off.
that's another thing they never
So, but
they
that's
never
what I'm
mentioned.
saying. That's why I feel like they're building for that season 2 arc with him again as well. So, I'm very excited for season 2 because of that, because they've built so much now in season 1 that I feel like they are going to pay off in season 2. And what I want to make a comment on as well, in terms of, it doesn't just have to strictly be on in TV shows but also in movies. I feel like us as moviegoers and who follow this kind of stuff, we should know better than to just, because I feel like John Favreau, I feel like all these directors, all these writers that are part of this universe, they know better. They know the same as we do. If this is a universe that we're starting, we might we might show you something in this movie or in this episode, and we won't address it until way later because that's just how it's going to fit in our storyline. You know what I mean? Because yeah, maybe for the average moviegoer or for the average show watcher who's like, oh, you know what, I'm going to just throw this on because it looks good, and then they put that there and they never pay it off, they'll be like, oh, well, what's the point of watching season 2? Like, the show's a mess, this and that, yada, yada, yada. But for us who are cursed with knowledge, we should know eventually they're going to pay off that scene. They're going to pay off that event. Maybe not this season, but next season, and it kind of goes the same with the movies, like Star Wars movies, or, just the DCEU or the MCU. Just if you're building a universe, we should automatically assume if this happens in this season or in this movie, we should automatically assume it's going to get paid off in that season or that movie. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm dropping 8 bombs. God damn. You hit a lot of points that I wanted to touch on and bring up, because I wanted to compare this. This season felt a lot like Daredevil season 1. Hear me out.
Hmm.
Yo, see, I knew he was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna do that. I knew it. Hear me out. Hear me out. You guys won't
Whatever
you
say,
guys won't get
bro.
takes like this anywhere else.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay,
Okay, Zach, go, go. I'm kidding.
Daredevil was 13 episodes long, correct?
Hmm.
Correct.
All right. Season 1 was 13 episodes long, as well as season 2 and 3. But every one of those seasons has an lesser episode. I wouldn't say filler so much here, because we're talking about Daredevil here. We're talking about royalty. I just think that this Mandalorian series has the potential to match that kind of upgrade the second time around. Because if you were to rank all 3 seasons of Daredevil, it's safe to assume that you would go with season 2 as your favorite, correct?
Yeah, arguably either season 2 or
I'm
season.
just saying it's an
Season 3 was fire.
season 3 was fire. A whole lot of messiness, a lot less filler. But what I'm saying is that the second time around, it was like, oh, this is crazy. Like this compared to season 1, I mean. Like that's what I mean. Not in the long run. I'm just saying, like, the second time around, the producers and directors and writers of the show have a chance to produce what a sequel is supposed to be,
Okay.
which is not a photocopy. Just make what we like
Improve it.
and improve it, make it better.
Yeah, we shouldn't say just, because that is a hard thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I see what you're saying, but season 1 of Daredevil was way better than season 1 of Mandalorian.
I feel that. No, I
Like,
I
you know what I'm
agree
saying?
with you.
So,
No,
like,
yeah, but I'm just
in
saying
terms
that,
in terms of them making it as good as their season 2 as good as what Daredevil season 2 was, that's a tall order, my friend. That's a tall
Well,
order.
no, I think what he's saying is just that
There's room for
now, now,
improvement.
now, exactly. There's room
Well,
for
for
them
there's
to.
definitely is for show.
Damn, this man just did not
Um,
like it.
no, I mean that's every show though. There's
Dropping
room
a
for
bomb for
improvement.
myself too.
I see
And
what you're
it's like,
saying.
I think they're actually filming it right now as we speak.
I
Are they
just
really? Oh
and
no, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I looked it up before
do you
in
guys
like
think
a couple of older podcasts.
now for some I guess foresight and things? Do y'all think that um we will eventually have a series that will lead into a film, which is kind of inevitable.
You think so?
I think that this will the consequences of whatever happens here, I think should directly affect for narrative's
Well,
sake, should directly affect what goes on in the next film somehow. Because this baby Yoda, y'all can't just
yeah,
scoot this away. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
because he's Ox. Yeah, that's like finding a baby Superman.
Exactly, and just stowing
Speaking
him
of
away.
which, I just want to touch on Baby Yoda real quick. He is now a Mandalorian, and I really hope we get to see
Oh
him
shit!
in a Mando suit.
Whoa. Why is he Mandalorian?
Because the
Well, in that
armor
speech,
declared him
yeah,
a foundling.
yeah, the kind of exactly what Pedro
Mando
Pascal
was.
character was. Yeah, it's what Yoda is, Baby Yoda, and he even gave him that little his little Mandalorian like
Oh yeah,
The
that's right.
signet.
Yeah,
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 the
yeah.
signet.
yeah.
Duh.
He was like,
Forgot
you
about
you
that.
you hold on to this,
Right.
and
Wow, that's yo, JB, you got it, bro. That is legit. That's a drop.
so I
I mean,
think
we're not gonna unless they do a time jump. We're not gonna see that for a while, right?
what a movie.
I mean,
Oh,
no,
you
I mean
talking
like
about?
him in a Mando suit.
Well, we don't know how they age,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, and that
It's
we
like
don't know
next
much.
season he's like a teenager.
Word, he's like, yeah,
yeah, but he's
He's
like
like,
he's like teenage Groot.
he's like crip walking in his Mando suit.
Baby Yoda crip walking. No, but I don't think that I think that this is gonna end tragically. I think that the Mando
I
character
agree.
will because like remember this takes
Yeah,
place.
he's gonna sacrifice himself for
Yeah, this is
Baby
gonna
Yoda.
take over 30 years before Rey was even born. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just hope that Baby Yoda becomes that again that mentor character, like some kind of significant mentor to now the new generation of Star Wars characters that we're
Right.
gonna obviously get up next. And yeah, I'm excited because Star Wars. I feel like the concept has caught up with the time. No. That time has caught up with the concept. So now we
Uh-huh.
have the technology to actually make such a fascinating concept that is Star Wars actually to put that to
Right.
possibly even take the mantle of most popular out right now. Maybe Star Wars is the next step in the new sci-fi age of films that we kind of see everything going towards, and the proof I have of that is with films like Captain Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy, that it seems like the comic book genre is now leading to more cosmic based stories and stuff, and Star Wars is about to be on top again, bro. If they take this and actually run with it really well,
I have a question.
what's up?
The First Order, when did that come into play?
The First Order, I feel
Because even when Ray, like in the episode 7,
yeah.
Ray was still like, and when she was first getting introduced to all this, they've been scrapping for a minute already,
Yeah,
like the Resistance in the First Order. So like,
it was going on for some
does
time.
that mean? And if this is 30 years back, I'm gonna assume probably
Oh shit! Yep, this has to be some kind of offshoot of Goff of Moff Gideon. I mean,
Moff Gideon.
yeah,
yeah.
it
I
could
wonder if
be.
it started kind of with him a little bit.
Yeah, because the First Order was basically the scattered groups of the Empire that were like basically dismantled, and they just all grouped up and joined up to join, this new coalition or this new subdivision of what the empire was.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. Of yeah, I could see that being a thing. I don't see why not.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways they can go with this, and also the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that's gonna come out
Oh shit, that could possibly
because
tie into this.
you know why? They are looking for a young Luke Skywalker to cast. So
How young?
Sebastian Stan.
like no, I think they're looking for a preteen teenager.
Oh, okay.
But if they do have fast forwards, Sebastian Stan 100%.
Because they could save a whole lot of money on CGI.
Yep.
Tell you that. Save a whole lot of money.
Exactly.
Not that the CGI they do is the de aging that Disney does is bad. 'Cause we know how
But
they.
it's just yeah, they'll just save
Yeah.
a shit ton of money because
Yeah.
Sebastian looks very, very much like a young Mark Hamill.
So it's lit.
But yeah, dude,
I'm
I'm
really
excited
excited. Yep.
for everything Star Wars. Like I said before in a previous podcast, I wasn't that invested, but now I'm caught up to everything. Well, sorry, I'm not caught up to Solo. I'll watch that.
Oh, bro, I have half an hour left on that.
Damn, this guy's taking
Mi-
forever to finish this movie.
No, no, no.
Word.
I wasn't watching it in pieces. I watched
Oh,
it.
okay.
I watched it last. I started it last night, but then I had to leave, and I was like, yo, this is really cool. Obviously, it's kind of mid, considering that it's basically just a heist film, kind of.
Spoilers. Thank you.
What? It's Han Solo. He's a smuggler. Like, come on. But
No.
Oh,
it's
you said
cool.
you ain't shit.
These Star Wars stories have the potential to actually be a good set because I don't think that the Solo film, like, I have half an hour left. So far it's great. Like it's good fun. Like it's obviously not better than Rogue One, but
Goaded.
yeah, Rogue One is fucking out there, bro. That shit is.
But nah, man, I'm so I can't wait. Like I said, fall 2020 is big for Mandalorian and all the other Disney Plus Marvel shows we're gonna get dropping for the fall of 2020.
Yeah. Wait. So what? The Obi-Wan show is slated for what? 2021, or it doesn't have a date yet?
I don't. I'll check right now.
Cause Disney has the high ground next year.
I understood that reference.
Disney has the high ground next year because they're next year is stacked for Disney, and then 2021 they're also taking over that as well. So
Yeah, there's nothing. There's
there's
nothing
no.
going.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no news on.
I guess we'll
release
find
yet.
out more at either E3 or Comic Con or D23.
Right. Anything else you want to touch upon on the Mandalorian, or are we all good?
I'm all good.
We all good,
Okay.
cuz.
I just wanted to leave the year by a couple news that dropped, or just little minor things we don't have to touch on. I'll just say it. You guys just give me your opinion on it, and we can go from there. We don't got to debate. Um, the New Mutants. A new trailer will be released on January 6th. So we are finally getting it. It's dropping in April, I believe.
Oh boy.
But I'm just gonna say I don't care. Is that okay
Oh,
to
wait,
say?
wait, let me play the Stephen A.
Oh, yeah, the new one.
Yeah, I got you right now. Hold on.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you,
We don't care.
Yeah, I wish I were here,
Um,
man. I'm gonna
Um,
tell you right now.
we don't care. So I love how IMDb says expected April 3rd, 2020. Because
Expect it.
we- because
Expect it.
we are just as unsure as you are.
Yo, talk
Um,
about post-production nightmare, man.
Yeah, literally.
and honestly, it's nobody's fault but the Disney Fox merger. So it's annoying,
Yeah.
but whatever.
I honestly blame it more on Fox than Disney. You know why?
Of course.
You know why? Because when the whole rumors of the Disney Fox deal were floating about. Fox knew that the deal was gonna actually like go through, and they were
I
gonna sign on
remember
it.
this.
And on purpose, I think they forced the production of like 4 or 5 films.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
I
one of
remember
those films was Gambit. It was New Mutants. It was Dark Phoenix. Yo, Dark Phoenix, bro. That shit. Yo, Dark Phoenix was so bad that shit should
Yo,
have went
we
to
don't gotta.
VHS.
Yo, we don't gotta get into it.
But anyway,
Speaking of horror,
what?
Kevin Feige has said that although Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will not be fully fledged horror film, it will feature multiple scary sequences that push the boundaries of the PG-13 rating,
Ooh.
detracting from what he previously had said that it was going to be the first horror film.
Well,
No, I'm sorry, he didn't say that.
Oh no.
Let me
that
not
was
say
not
that.
him who
It was
said that. That was
Scott
Scott
Derrickson.
Derrickson.
It was Scott
Look
Derrickson.
at you.
My
Look at
bad. My bad.
you. Throwing dirt on
Either
my
way,
name.
either way, Scott, Kevin, y'all could both hold these. Y'all could both hold these. They, you know what? I can't even blame them just because of like just they, Marvel and Disney have just built are built upon children and Legos. So
Legos. Legos
um,
isn't a Disney thing, fam.
it's a kids thing though. So and I think that should. Oh, Kevin Feige also said that Chang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has a 98% Asian cast. That
Oh,
is
that
wild.
2% is gonna piss off a lot of people.
I can't wait.
Maybe the Seventh Cavalry will come out and be like,
They're the main antagonists of the fucking thing.
the Seventh Cavalry. Yo, people. Oh god, this is gonna be fun. Yo, next year is gonna be a lot of fun, man. I know Shang-Chi isn't coming out next year, but it's gonna be fun, like hearing like the production news and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So yeah, that's it for me on news. I just want to say again to our listeners, thanks a lot. Thank you for a great year, great 2019.
Yes.
A lot more coming your way 2020. Hopefully we'll be able to accomplish more things and get you guys more involved. You guys can get more involved by DMing us on Instagram. We will answer you without a doubt, unless you're a complete weirdo. Uh, at Comic Gods with a Z. So that's what I want to leave off at. Thank you.
Yeah.
yeah. Thank
Thank you
y'all.
guys.
You already know what it is, man. Like we are very grateful to give y'all 38 episodes over the course of a year and 4 months. So like we only going up, fam.
Facts.
Keep riding this wave,
Please.
We have spoken.
please.
Please.
But yeah, guys.
Yeah, no, it's been a hell of a year.
Yeah, man. So we will be back soon, maybe sometime next year.
Oh wow, I see.
Maybe.
Hold on, I want to give him the old brother. He stinks.
The what?
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother,
This
he
guy stinks.
Yo, watch the Snyder Cut like they'll announce it tomorrow. We have to drop another fucking podcast before 2020.
While the ball is dropping, guys.
Yeah. It's like, guys, so they finally did it.
Guys, so they finally did it. I have the bar vibe
Happy New
thing
Year.
on. Guys, so they finally did it. Zack Snyder released it. This is all I got. Happy 2020, y'all. But yeah,
All right.
guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Happy New Year, y'all. Happy 2020.
Happy New Year, y'all. Mazel tov. Hoy se bebe.